People play the slots for entertainment, to socialize with folks like themselves, or just to pass the time. But everyone who sits down with a cup full of quarters also dares to dream that maybe this will be their lucky day.
I put $300 in, and I hit for $9,000.
There we go. Red, white, and blue. Yes, $4,000.
Most jackpots are in the hundreds or thousands of dollars. But in the mid-1980s, the progressive slot machine was introduced, and gaming hasn't been the same since. Progressives are linked together by a computer. The money fed into each slot in the network goes towards a central growing jackpot. So players not only gamble for what's in their machine's hopper, but also get a shot at a richer payout. In 1986, International Game Technology created the mother of all jackpots with Megabucks. It's a huge network of progressive slots wired across multiple casinos, sometimes across several states. Their payouts can be in the tens of millions, which is more like hitting the lottery than winning on a slot machine.
Progressive is a life-changing event for most people. Anyone can win. Anyone can get lucky. And we're talking about a $2.45 investment for the opportunity of a life-changing event.
In the summer of 2000, Laszlo Zitve found out what it feels like when luck's lightning strikes.
That particular night, my wife told me to be up by midnight in the hotel rooms, don't stay out too late. So I promised her that I'll be up by midnight.
He and his wife Joanne were at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas for a family reunion weekend.
However, I went by a coffee shop, had a nice big cup of coffee. I became wide awake. Then realizing that I can't go to sleep now, said, might as well go back and play on the machines.
Laszlo went to his favorite kind of slot, a 25-cent Wheel of Fortune machine linked to IGT's Megabucks system.
Just like to relax, you know, drop in the coins and pull the lever and let's see what happens.
When Laszlo dropped that fateful quarter into the slot, the machine's random number generator communicated with IGT's Megabucks control center in Reno, Nevada. The Megabucks computer recognized the winning number combination and sent the information to Laszlo's machine.
Then lo and behold, after putting about like $80 in, the symbols started popping up one after another. The first Wheel of Fortune symbol stopped. I can become practically breathless, and the next one stopped. Then the third, I thought my heart will stop.
Within a split second, the Wheel of Fortune at the Sahara delivered the good news in that special language unique to slot machines.
The machine just hit. All the symbols came up, lined up on a pay line. The lights started flashing and the bells going. I realized that I won something. Personally, I thought that it was 4 million quarter. But then people next to me insisted, no, that is $4 million.
Megabucks jackpots are not funded or paid out by the individual casinos. Instead, they are administered and tracked by International Game Technology. IGT immediately dispatched a team to verify the win. While casino security protected his slot machine, Laszlo went upstairs to tell his wife that he was having a good night.
He and my son came up with the security guards, and when you see a security guard, automatically you think something's wrong. You don't ever think of something good, you know. And he said, oh, nothing's wrong. He said, but he said, you can retire anytime you want. And I said, what happened?
Laszlo and Joanne chose to take the payout in a lump sum instead of 20 annual installments. So the actual amount they walked away with was $1.3 million after taxes. That's more than a 16,000% return on an $80 investment.
All of a sudden, someone's going to get a dream that they aspire to. Their house, their car, put their kid through college, and it can happen to you. It's a fun opportunity, and you get to play with fate.
This is my treasure.
That's nice, you know, but this one, take you anywhere where there is water.
Yeah, I know. It's great, but I like mine better.
But no, we bought this one a year before that big win. It was a wonderful feeling, realizing that we can retire and our future will be very nice and very peaceful.
We've always lived very well, but we've worked hard in order to live like that. And now it just allows us to do that without working for it.
However, I still have a couple of contracts outstanding which I have to fulfill. After then, I will be able to build something for ourselves. Whenever I go to Vegas, I pay homage to that machine. I go back and I pet the machine. So do you remember me? We are very good friends, and I put a $20 bill in there and I play. But I always go back. I'm a sentimental person. I even kiss that machine.
1 in 46 million that he would win that. Pretty incredible.
Life is unpredictable. It can happen to anybody.
Laszlo's story is the fairy tale most players want to believe in. But there is a grimmer reality for some who shake hands with the one-armed bandit. For them, that first pull is the beginning of a twisted dependence. What begins as innocent fun becomes an addiction, and it usually starts with a cascade of quarters.
And so I played a quarter machine, and I won on the quarter machine, and I thought, oh. And I went and played a $half machine, and I won on that. And I went and played a dollar machine, and I won $4,000. And I thought that if I did that night, I could do it every night I went out. And that was the beginning.
For some like Liz, electronic gaming can quickly spiral from entertainment to obsession. Experts say that as much as 6% of the playing public becomes pathological gamblers, for whom a pull of the handle is like a pull on the trigger.
As there are a percentage of people in the world who just can't drink, a percentage of people in the world who just can't take narcotic pain medication, there's a percentage of people that just can't gamble. It's not a character or a willpower or a moral problem. It's a legitimate illness and a treatable illness.
For me, it was like a drug addict. I've got to have my shot. Got to have a fix. I had a machine and it didn't answer me back. It took my money. But then it took all the pain and anguish and all the stuff that goes on in your everyday life, and it just puts it on the back burner for a little while.
The one-on-one relationship between the player and the machine fuels the addiction and adds to the isolation.
If you're at a dice table or you're in a 21 pit, there's a lot of activity around you. You don't really control the action. There's a lot of distracting stuff going on. When it's you and the machine and you're going to develop a gambling problem, you're going to do so in about 2 to 2.5 years. Table game, sports, horse bettors, those pathological gamblers take about 20 years to reach bottom.
For Liz, that bottom came when she thought about losing herself in the desert after overdrawing $2,400 to feed to a video poker machine.
I never walked out a winner. I couldn't walk out with money. I'd walk out looking for a nickel because I was going to get it all back. And I lost a lot of money. I consolidated the bills twice. I took a second mortgage out. I stole my son's car payment. I did all those things.
Gambling is still the stepchild addiction. A lot of doctors thought it was an offshoot of sociopathy because problem gamblers tend to write bad checks and lie to their loved ones. The truth is that this predisposition is actually very similar to that for alcoholism.
As with any addiction, recovery can only be won with abstinence. In a nation where slot machines are available everywhere on the internet, it's hard to avoid the temptation to slip. But with the help of the Center for Problem Gambling in Las Vegas and Gamblers Anonymous, Liz was able to break her hellish cycle of risk and ruin.
You can make all the promises in the world that you're not going to do it again. And I've done that. I've done that. But when I was able to look in the mirror and I looked in there and I saw this lady who had aged so many years, and I cried and I cried and I cried. But I realized that I didn't want to go back there no more.
Not everyone who tries machine gaming falls prey to a gambling addiction, but nationwide, losers outnumber winners more than 10 to 1, and for some, those odds are impossible.
I've heard of these people winning all these millions at the megabucks, you know, but I could gamble every day in my lifetime, and millions of other people could gamble every day in their lifetime, and they would not hit $1,000. So I wouldn't go and make that bet. I just wouldn't go and make that bet because I know where it can lead. I know it led me. It led me to wanting to die.
I don't think the addiction is wired into the machine or designed into the software. I think the addiction is in the individual. This is not a disorder that hits the lowest rung of society or those weak links that were destined to fail. This literally can happen to anyone.